What is going on, guys? In today's video I will show you the best class tier list in Odin Valhalla Rising. So this game has a lot of unique classes and subclasses to play, and we have a wide variety to choose from, but the big question is, what class is the best and can do the highest damage possible and much more. So I've done a bunch of testing and these are the results. And then, just before we get into the video, let me introduce you to today's video sponsor. Lagofast is a software that ensures better and faster connection routes to game servers by eliminating connection issues with a single press of a button. All you need to do is sign up through their website, then download the software. Then when you have Lagofast on your computer, just log in, then choose the game that you want to play. Then select your server region, and then lastly click Start Booster, and that's it. Now you can enjoy whatever game you want to play with the best possible connection. Personally for me, Odin Valhalla Rising has some login restrictions, also often low FPS and has a quite bad in-game translation, but now by using lagofast I can enjoy uninterrupted gameplay. And plus, with a single click of a button, I can just translate the game for much better gameplay experience. So what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description to check them out and use my code KADE30 for 30% off. They also offer discounted prices for monthly, annually and quarterly time periods. So don't miss this opportunity to make your gaming lag free. And thanks again to Lagofast for sponsoring this video. So moving over to the first C tier class, and it is Saint. This is a specialized subclass of the Priest, who is a support and healing focused class designed to keep allies alive while providing substantial utility on the battlefield. The Saint excels in group healing, buffing and reviving fallen allies, which makes them essential for any long duration content or large scale combat. Equipped with a holy magic, the Saint can cast powerful area healing spells, shielding auras and status cleanses, by providing continuous sustain to their team. Their healing output is unmatched, so they're for sure the best healing class in the game. Saints also will possess the ability to boost damage resistance and amplify the healing received by allies, which is crucial for tank heavy or high damage phases. They even have revival abilities to bring back fallen team members, which is a very huge deal, especially in the raids or PvP encounters. However, while the Saint is a powerhouse of a support, they're very vulnerable in combat. Their low defense and reliance on positioning makes them fragile in solo play, and overall they're best suited for groups where their ability to protect and heal can shine. Then next up we have B tier, and for the first one we will place Defender. This is a subclass of the Warrior, and who's also known as the best tank class in the game, as he is built to absorb damage, protect allies and control the battlefield. Armed with a sturdy shield and one-handed weapon, the Defender is the backbone of any party, thriving in both PvE and PvP, by anchoring the team fights and soaking up pressure. Their skill set revolves around taunts, damage reduction and crowd control, such as taunts and knockbacks. In dungeon content and raids, defenders are very important for maintaining aggro on bosses and shielding fragile allies from incoming threats. In PvP, they disrupt enemy lines, peel for backline allies, and lock down mobile opponents. While their personal damage output is low, defenders are not passive tanks, as they offer solid area control, debuff resistance and lifesteal utility, which makes them essential in large-scale battles and high difficulty content. That said, they aren't ideal for solo players or those who are focused on fast skills. Their slower pace and supported focused role means that their true strength truly shines in the group content. Next up we have Paladin, and we will also place him right in the B tier. He is a subclass of the Priest, who is a hybrid frontline support that blends healing, defensive utility and melee combat. Unlike the Saint, which focuses on pure healing, the Paladin will offer a balanced playstyle, capable of protecting allies while holding the line in both PvE and PvP. Paladins bring aura-based buffs, damage mitigation and light-based melee attacks that scale with both physical and magical stats. They can heal teammates, cleanse debuffs and reduce incoming damage, all while staying active in the thick of a battle. Their core gameplay is centered around the team utility, sustain and crowd control support. While not a primary damage dealer or a tank, Paladins will thrive when paired with a squishier ally, by offering a safety net that enhances group survivability in raids, dungeons and war zones. However, they lack in raw DPS of the Berserker or the pure tanking ability of a Defender. Their value will shine in the coordinated group play, where their versatile kit can turn the tide of a battle through the consistent healing, shields and supportive interrupts. Then for the next one we have Sniper, and he also deserves to be placed right in the D tier. This is a subclass of the Rogue, who is a long-range physical DPS attacker that focuses on precision, mobility, and calculated damage from a distance. Unlike the Assassin's Burst melee style, the Sniper relies on trap setups, headshots, and kiting to control the battlefield, and eliminating targets before they can close the gap. With a high single target damage and a strong focus on critical hits and range combos, the Sniper excels in both PvE boss fights and PvP backline control. They bring unique utility through slows, immobilizing traps and evasion mechanics, making them slippery targets that are difficult to pin down. Sniper's gameplay will emphasize on positioning and map awareness. Their effectiveness will scale heavily with the proper spacing, as they're most vulnerable at close range. And unlike other range classes, they don't rely on spellcasting, which allows them for more fluid movement and reactive play in a fast-paced fights. However, they suffer from low defense, limited AoV, and a skill ceiling that requires good aim and timing to fully utilize their burst windows. So overall, mistakes in positioning or overcommitting can lead to a quick death. Then next up we have Archmage, and he's also in the A tier. This is a subclass of the Sorceress, who is a ranged spellcaster that harnesses the raw destruction power of the elemental magic. Focused on burst damage and AoV spells, the Archmage is designed to wipe out enemies before they even get close to you. So this class excels in mid to long range combat by using high impact fire, ice and lightning spells to control crowds and burst down key targets. With massive AoV abilities, elemental amplifiers, and the knockback or the freeze effects, the Archmage will dominate both in PvE and large-scale PvP, where controlling the space and outputting sustained damage is very critical. Their gameplay revolves around casting rotations, positioning, and mana management. Though not as strategic as the Dark Wizard, the Archmage compensates with explosive firepower and reliable crowd control that can break enemy formations and interrupt attacks. However, Archmages are extremely fragile, with low defense and a long casting time. They rely heavily on proper spacing and team support to survive in close encounters. Overall, they're very vulnerable to fast melee classes like Assassins if they're caught out of position. And now finally we've come to the S tier, and here we will place Assassin. This is a rogue subclass who is an embodiment of a high risk and high reward gameplay, while also being a stealthy melee DPS that focuses on burst damage, agility, and evasive combat. He is designed for players who thrive on precision and timing, as he excels at target elimination using rapid dashes, invisibility skills, and backstab mechanics to deal explosive damage in a short window. Their toolkit includes critical strike amplifiers, gap closers, and temporarily stealth, allowing them to dive in, eliminate key targets, and vanish before retaliation. In PvP, Assassins are natural duelists and backline disruptors. Their mobility and stun capabilities make them excellent at catching squishy enemies off guard. In PvE, they will shine in boss fights and burst heavy rotations, although they lack the AoV capabilities of other classes. So what are their trade-off? Well, they have low durability and minimal crowd control resistance, and overall they are fragile, and mistimed engagement often will lead to a one-shot, so you will need to rely on a hit-and-run tactic and punishing positioning mistakes rather than the brute strength. Next up in the S tier we have Dark Wizard. He's one of the Sorceress subclasses, who specializes in damage over time, debuffs and crowd control, offering a tactical and control-heavy playstyle. Unlike the Archmage's raw elemental burst damage, the Dark Wizard will thrive on sustained pressure, using cursed-based magic to slowly break down enemies while keeping them at a distance. With spells that inflict poison, burn, or weaken defenses, this class is ideal for players who prefer to outclass enemies, rather than overwhelm them outright. Your core gameplay revolves around zoning, kiting, and managing timers on damage over time effects. Dark Wizards can control the battlefield using AoV denial skills, slows and debuffs that reduce enemy mobility and damage output. This makes them especially effective in group PvP, boss raids, and large-scale war content, where controlling space is very crucial. However, they come with vulnerabilities. Low defense and slower cast animations makes your positioning critical. They struggle in close range combat and rely on allies or careful spacing to stay alive in chaotic encounters. This class is for players who enjoy strategic long-term damage and controlling the flow of a battle from a distance. And finally, for the last class we have Berserker, and we will place him right in the S tier. This is a subclass of the warrior, who is a brutal melee DPS character that's built for players who thrive on aggressive, high-impact combat. Wielding a massive two-handed weapon, the Berserker will excel at burst damage, rapid combos, and wide AoE attacks. This class is designed to charge headfirst into the battle, dishing out massive critical strikes while sustaining pressure on the enemies through bleed effects and continuous damage skills. His gameplay emphasizes mobility and aggression, with gap-closing abilities that let you dive into combat quickly and lifesteal mechanics that help you recover while fighting. Berserkers also have resistance to crowd control, allowing them to stay active in chaotic group fights and PvP scenarios. Compared to the defender, Berserkers will sacrifice heavy armor and defense for speed and raw offensive power. However, poor positioning or mistimed abilities can leave you vulnerable, especially in high difficulty PvE content or large-scale PvP. Although despite this risk, they are highly effective in solo play, dungeon runs, and open world farming. With fast skill cooldowns and visually explosive animations, the Berserker delivers a high-octane experience for players who favor a fast-paced and melee-driven gameplay.